right, we'll call the meeting of November 17th order, stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We do roll call, please.
Yes. Counselor Shriver?
Here.
Counselor Reynolds?
Here.
Mayor Burris?
Here.
Counselor Sandusky?
Here.
Counselor Knoxman?
Okay, thank you. Do you have any announcements that you have?
Only the work using JVs.
Okay, perfect. All right, so now we have our public comment section. Any person may address the council after being recognized by myself. However, topics which are under appeal or legal in nature cannot be addressed. Please state your name and address for the record. Time is limited to 3 minutes per person. Anybody want to? Okay. Come on up, please state your name.
One president, again, looking for Urchin Site Street. And I'm just still saying, please stop, don't please into your apartment. I wasn't thinking I'd already tell you about the recent experience that I have with the trailer that is the triangle work outside my house. I finally bid the financial burden and had my education training and everything. And I gave the guy proper notice and everything, you know, that you need to know when we talk, face to face, said that he was gonna have it moved. And everything, people came, thinking of the work and everything, and I noticed it wasn't done right. I have pictures, I have all of it, I made it, you know, I even get the. Filing of the court with the local enforcement guy to get him moved as well, before that to make sure that the guy is done. Well, I worked with the guy that's doing no edges, and when they were like, oh, ha, you know, so I told him like, I want to go like this, or maybe you'll hurt you when I asked him about the job. And he goes, no good. I'm like, what do you mean no good? He goes, no, that man in the trailer would have let us do the job. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, first he said, you know, liability, and I was like, okay, he goes, so put it over the edges and stuff like that. I was like, all right. Then he started yelling at them at 1:30 in the afternoon that they were even too loud at doing a job that I paid them. In a house that I own, that I work for. I mean, it's really devastating for a person that has worked very hard to have the home life to be where I am now. I understand people have their ambitions. I understand they have a big personalities. All of that I get. But for me, I have my realistic problems. I have my dark side in my life that I just have lived. It's difficult for me to be me, to do be an adult. I work two jobs. I'm a mom before single, hard. And for me to get up and see constantly people living in trailers outside my home, doing what they're doing, and it's like, and also the why I'm saying that is it has been tagged multiple times, even tagged today, and he's just freaking it out and not moving. So when I see that happening and I'm trying to be the best I am, that's what I get frustrated. So when I stop and just once again saying something, you know, a problem there, it constantly happens. I mean, he had camping gear out there and eggs sitting on the grill for 3 days. I mean, am I allowed to do that? I mean, how much longer, you know, if I didn't check my yard, there'll be somebody knocking on my door. You know, it's just, I'm asking for, I understand they have issues, but also I work hard for what I have. And I think that it, you know, it's fine to that space, but I am having a hard time understanding. So thank you, God bless, speaker for.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I had nothing to say tonight, I really didn't, but I really think that you get concerned citizens like this young lady, Sarah Phillips.
Thank you.
She comes in here with a concern, and it's a valid concern. Now, I want to know what happens with this concern. Because we hear the same thing over and over again. So what does happen to it? Does anybody do anything about it? Do we? Because I'm hearing the same thing. Do we have a camping ordinance in Tillamook that we can enforce? Do we have a place that they can go far? I know other communities do. So, I mean, we need to start doing something. If you want people to come up here with their concerns, please do something. Talk about it, get a hold of it. Address it on the next meeting, do something so that we know you're doing something.
Go
Are you ready for me to answer that? Larry?
Yeah. well,
Can I say something first?
Yes, you can.
So Kenny did come in today. That's the second time he's come in with cause I work at Burton's Towing. And so that's the second time he's come in for that trailer. The first time we went to check it out and it was gone. This was about a month ago. And then I'm asking Public Works if there's availability, because I don't want the trailer on my property. And so, and if he's in it, I really can't tow it, but I do have the slip to tow it, and I'm talking to Public Works about getting it moved. So it is being worked on, and Kenny.
That's it. You know, there's parking for that would be a problem. I mean, I had that red car up and that must be over a month and a half and I didn't care because nobody was living. They could leave the backs and they used to be. So the camping, something needs to happen. I understand you don't have your education, you know that, so I answer that, but yeah.
Thank you. You all take your pronoun, right? I did it, did. Let's take some bravery.
Yeah.
Stuff, so, just to answer Mr. Phillips's question, usually when we get comments such as this. I take notes and then we try to follow up, sometimes after the meeting, or we'll have. Me and the chief talk about it tomorrow morning, about what's happening in each of these circumstances, because. As if I could assume. You've made these comments before, obviously our code enforcement officer is aware of it, so I follow up with our department head and follows up with the code enforcement officer. To figure out what's going on and we look to intervene. Sometimes I would make a specific appointment and meet with a homeowner and go out on site and see what we can do to take a look at it. They get going. The biggest problem that we have. And I hate to say this. But our hands are tied by many state laws that we cannot break, right? We can't just tow a trailer out, just to tow the trailer. There's a due process part that we have to go through under the state of Oregon. And the state of Oregon has specific laws regarding people living in trailers, that is their quote unquote domicile, that we cannot take that from them. So we do our best to help them move along and to do what we can within the bounds of the law. But the sad reality is that we are not a geo metro, we are a battleship, right? Government turns on a continent, not on a duck. So we have to follow our processes and go through them. It's extremely frustrating for us. It's extremely frustrating for the council, us as staff. We do our best. Not everything we do can be brought back and reported, because once I move to a criminal case, we can't talk about it in open meeting, right? So I understand that there may be frustration from residents that it doesn't seem like we're doing anything, but I can assure you that we do things, and every complaint that we get is followed up on, and we do our best to make this a better place for people to live. And that's my response to them.
Appreciate that. It does seem though, like we've been saying over and over and over and over for the last several months. And we just don't know what's going on. It doesn't mean we're happy with it, and when in some cases too, there have been promises that are never followed up now. Go ahead, Ben.
So I don't think it's not that we're doing anything, I think it's whack-a-mole.
This one.
It's like whack-a-mole, right? So we get the trailer to move itself. And then it's just moving around because of the state law. We can't necessarily do anything about it because of the camping or the living ordinances. We can move them to different sites, different locations. I think we've been working on that, how you come up with a permanent situation for like permanent camping, permanent location within the city.
I guess that's what we need to move forward on, probably quicker than not.
Yeah, it's in the works. We're trying.
But see, that'd be something great, probably all like to hear about. And how they was.
This fault.
Yeah,
No,
I was hoping you got it.
No. All right, thank you. Anybody else? You wanna go next? Go ahead. Justin, you said yes. You can. State your name for us, please.
I'm sorry, what's your name? Okay.
What's the spend money here? Why did I must be here? You have both nice, air conditioning. Why do you have to live in a trailer? Why you spend so much money living here?
I-
It's open.
You want to point a me at that one or?
Or did the chief wanna?
Okay, so
Someone want
there's a couple different things for that. One, the city did not spend money on the area. That's a county project. Across the streets, the county commission did that, okay? CARE is run by a third party, non-governmental organization. They have rules about who can come in and not, and we do recommend people go there. If we see people, we can, and people are on the street, the police can say, hey, go over here to CARE. They have certain rules about when they can come and go. They have rules about being clean when they come in and stuff like that. So there are specific rules that CARE has that we don't enforce them.
But they don't want to move and invest the money.
I can't answer that for you, because
But
I know. There's some beautiful places in. Yep. Yeah.
why do let me tell you one thing, I kicked out my neighbor, he parked out there, trailer. And I was in Texas for 8 years, and I don't know what happened to my bondage, they went there. And everything, I had scissors, cutting dogs there. And I kicked them out and they weren't happy. They got mad and also, I have a solution.
Okay.
If you could allow someone to live in a trailer, why don't you charge a $5 for a single family? $10 for the family with the kid, and you will bring the revenue. And you will cut down the homelessness.
We'll look into that.
I hope you consider my idea. I came with a solution.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, mostly just as coming on public comment. I think the important thing, when I talked to the chief about this, just off Merritt, 1405 Phillips Street. Talked about homeless in many situations. I think the important thing is there's a lot of cities in this state that have local camping ordinances that are compliant with the 2021 bill HB 3115. And while we've had conversations about we should do that or we're doing that, the reality is there are several cities that have already put this in place. From the League of Oregon Cities website, it says the bill retains cities' ability to enact reasonable time, place, and manner regulations aiming to preserve the ability of cities to manage public spaces effectively for the benefit of the town community. Furthermore, it says AB 3115 requires that any city or county law regulating the act of sitting, lying, sleeping, or keeping warm and dry outside on public property must be objectively reasonable based on the totality of the circumstances as applied to all stakeholders, including persons experiencing homelessness. I think this is what's important. What is objectively reasonable may look different in different communities. We have to get on this. Like, if that doesn't kick us into gear, nothing's going to. Like, that's as raw as it gets. I mean, a single mother of 4 who's working, owns a home. And she's been here twice.
About 5 times.
Here 5 times, I have been here 5, 6 times, that year. I'm sorry, I don't try. If you want to give a public comment, well, I mean, this is a little excessive. We have to get, it's HB 3115. I don't know if it needs to be a council directive, I don't know. But like. Let's get it moving, there's other cities that have this in place, Sherwood is awesome. That would be my solution for you.
Mr. Mayor, can I
Hey,
take 1 second,
you may.
30 seconds? I'd like to ask Councilwoman Shriver a question. Did you sit in a meeting with us and staff about a week ago?
Yes,
Regarding this very issue and discussing different options of what we can and can't
yeah, I was
do?
invited to come to the meeting to talk about the ordinances. It was a good meeting, you know, I mean, it takes a lot of thought and process and, but yeah, I mean, we are working on, they have been working on.
Grab one you like and duplicate it. Right?
You said Sherwood, right?
Copy Warren's like.
I mean, there's a process, you have your own boundaries, waterways, school boundaries. School routes to schools, you know, all kinds of things that they set up reasonable. There's plenty of them, I had looked through, I believe that's them. That's just the one that keeps coming to mind, setbacks in certain zones. Yes, you have kind of this, you have the place. Right, get one, set it down, one by the time. We've all been run by their own city attorneys. Like, no issue. Well, this is pretty good city, and pretty big cities, and out of 12 of them, I would assume that. Yes, I would assume that, we do ours, we run them through the city. Attorneys. Nobody wants that liability. So, you know, and a lot of these were done in 2020. They're not brand new. But I think there's options, they don't take them for granted. No. I get that there's a lot of times where the moves at the speed of city. It is, you know, and that can be put out there awfully, but there's also times where it can be. And I believe that everybody that wants the city can make that happen.
Thank you. Anybody else? Did we have anybody online?
No.
No, all right, last chance, anybody else? Somebody behind you right there. Here, yeah, I can't see who it is.
This is open forum.
And you have 3 minutes, now is your chance, so if you wanna address the council. Yep, you have 3 minutes.
Announce.
Yep, you got a chance,
All
yeah,
right.
say your name, you have 3 minutes.
All right, well, okay. I could, yeah, think. I will continue to that. Anyway, announcing my candidacy for position number 3. Yes, it's been effective about a week ago. So I just get the things in order, and out seeing, looking, listening, observing, finding out what's going on, and making sure that my ideas come to fruition and be some kind of plan going with this town going in the right direction. Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else? All right, we will move to presentations, or city sanitary service 2025 annual report. Oh,
Hello, my name is Robert Poppy, representing City Sanitary Service 1303 Elm Street. Before I get into my report, I just have a comment about code enforcement. In front of our business, about a couple months ago, we had a couple trailers that seemed abandoned to me, or what I would have thought were abandoned. And within 24 hours, the code enforcement officer were there and bagged them, and they were moved out of the way in 48 hours. So that's my experience with that. City police did a great job, I thought. Resolving it, they found ways of our trucks and the people driving by can be safe and not having impeding or any to guests in and out of our facility. So I thought the city was a great job with that. Mapping, they looked getting little to some of the other things. So I do know that they're trying and we put forth a lot of effort beyond that kind of thing on a daily basis. I want to first apologize that it took me this long to get in. This is actually our 2024 report. I was waiting for a couple things to happen, and I also wasn't going to be requesting a rate increase in 2025 this year. So financials are in front of you guys there. If you have any questions about those, I'm happy to answer them, but like I said, no changes to our rates for this year. Our profit margin was a little bit higher than we'd like to see. Last year due to an increase in revenue. Or a higher increase in revenue than anticipated, and then, some of the things that we had to do cost savings measures were, switching to mostly taking care of all our own repairs in-house instead of outsourcing those. And that saved us, around, $65,000 for the year in equipment expenses. And we also, saved some money by, we had been stockpiling some of our parts, and so that kind of finally showed up on the balance sheet from years before. But one of the things we're not gonna, you might ask, like, why would you not lower your rates if you're above the allowable profit margin? The year before, we were below the allowable profit margin, so kind of by a couple percentage for above couple this year, so that kind of evens out. And our expenses will be going up in this year and next calendar year because the county raised the tipping fees at the landfill by $2 a ton. So our rates will absorb that, and we hopefully can keep them steady, and that will lower our profit by next year at this time for sure. Any questions about their financials or rates? Anybody? And the main reason I was waiting to come for you guys is we were closing on some property out of Port Loma. And I was waiting for that to be finalized so that I could actually talk about it in a public meeting. And I want to assure the city council that we don't have any plans to move our operations out of the city. We're definitely not going to be closing the recycle center in the city. Or changing anything about our business structure. The property is merely gonna be for storage of equipment, boxes, parts, containers, that kind of thing. And then hopefully in the future, with the new Recycling Modernization Act that started this year, it will give us the flexibility to apply for funds for future development in recycling infrastructure, and that is available. You have to have some place to do it, but not going into the whole new state law, but parts of it you can apply for funding and to improve the recycling infrastructure in the city of Sullivan County. So that's our long-term goal for that space, and then just have more room instead of a tiny little virtual city block. So that was my report. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Okay, well,
I appreciate all your work.
and I will see you guys next year. Hopefully.
All right, so moving on to chamber comments. You're up.
Just operator again, 7208 Main Avenue. Here to just provide you with the 2025 tourism report. You have it in your packets, or on your tablets. It is in the packet. So I don't plan on going through page by page. I just want to point out a little bit as we're reconciling this. This is for about $66,000. And we did receive the full amount. Anyway, we did receive the full amount. There's a discrepancy a little bit in, we do accrual accounting, the city's on a cash basis. And so I had applied the funds towards this fiscal year, for June. So we're about $5,000 in a difference. What I'd like to do is come back to you, just with a one pager of how those funds are allocated. Obviously, since they're not spent, where they will likely end up is in a reserve under the wayfinding program to maintain, do some matching funds to maintain the gateway welcome facilities. Just decide. Pretty person where those funds will look to go. We stayed under, again, the salary cap. Towards salaries, that this money can be used for, which is 70%. We're under that cap. So, I'll just move forward. We did spend well over 2% on the farmers market, as you can see, which is another piece of our contract. And then the scope of work for 25-26 is very similar. As you can see, one thing that we talked about back when this contract was created was really about what is the impact that these dollars have that allow us to do the work we do for the community that is in regards to tourism. And in your guys's point of view, the downtown core had a lot to do with tourism. I agree with you. So you'll see two columns on our scope of work, TRT funds and other funds. This is really just kind of show you the scope that everything we do is not funded by TRT. It's approximately $70,000 a year. So there has been a belief at one time that you guys fund the whole Chamber of Commerce. Trust me, $70,000 does not fund the whole Chamber of Commerce. And so on here we have a lot of grants that we received, and we just really like to show the return on the investment and the partnership we have with the city groups. So I guess I'll just answer any questions you have.
Anyone?
I did attach the agreement and the prior scope work that you guys did last year, just in case you want to reference.
Anything?
Only that I believe this contract runs through 2027. And there has been much talk at the legislature about changing the balance of the TRT from tourism to from 70-30 tourism to unrestricted to a 60-40 split, which we're told is likely to pass early in the short session next year. We don't know what that would look like. It is my belief that we would maintain what we have as long as we have a contractual agreement until that contract comes up. But at the time that the contract comes up for renewal, the city council will have to make a decision on what, if anything, they want to do to change those funds. So if that legislation passes.
And more of my conversations.
All right. Anybody have any comments or questions? If not, thank you very much. All right. Right, new business, council applicants, proposed interview questions and format.
Because the best of everything is stolen, we
Thank
wanted to make sure that we had a clear understanding of what we were looking to do with our city council vacancies. So I won't name the city that we stole this from, but the basic form came from somewhere else, but we adapted it for our use and to make sure it fits our codes. So what you have before you is a job description for the city council. And we want to make sure that every candidate for city council gets this, because we want them to know what the job is that they're applying for and what the expectation is and where you're at and how the council works, and that it's not just first and third Mondays, that there's constituent work, that there's other meetings that you may come to, that there's trainings, professional development, and all that. So we like this job description, so we wanted to make sure that everybody had this as a basis. Then we've got what we think will be a good appointment process and interview format. So this is a recommendation. You guys are free to change it if you will, but I think this fits to make sure that we're abiding by all the laws and such that we have to abide by. So we've already declared the council vacancy. We will review applications during a regular session. At our last meeting, we said that we would review all applications on December 1st during the meeting for any applications that would come in. At that point, you would verify that each applicant meets the requirements, and we're doing that behind the scenes so that you know yes or no before that meeting. If you want to select for interviews, you may. The interviews, if there's more than one candidate, we would suggest doing a round robin style. We've prepared several questions for you. I think we've got 5 or 6. These are just like any job interview, we have to ask the same questions of everybody. And we put them in a proposed round robin style, so we have a panel of 5 candidates, it's not always candidate 1 starting and going down the line, candidate 1 starting and going down the line, you shake it up. But we can work on the questions if you like the question or want to move a different question or however. We provide these questions in advance to the candidates, so that it's not a surprise as to what questions they will be asked. And then we ask that they address you because this is done during the regular meeting or during a work session. We don't have any discussion on the candidate during the work session. And then once interviews are complete, then you move into the regular session where you would have deliberation and a formal vote. So just wanted to propose this process and interview format and get kind of a nod of the head or consensus that this sounds like what you want to do and how you want to move forward for our next meeting on December 1st, if we have multiple candidates.
Question? Comments? Idea?
We do essentially the same thing if it's only one candidate.
You can. And I recommend always interviewing the candidate, even if it's just one. If we only have one applicant, that is wonderful. I would still ask these questions just to make sure that they're gonna fit in with what the council is trying to accomplish.
Anybody else?
Just one quick question on the job description.
Yeah,
So where it says qualifications, it says, I know there's been talk about maybe trying to change the charter in the future, but right now the charter requires you to live in the ward. That's your.
yes.
That is not mentioned anywhere on that qualifications or job description. Should.
For right now, you're probably correct. We should add that to the job description. That makes sense to me.
Everything else looks really good.
Yeah. And just know that any change in the charter is not proposed until next year when it has to go before the voters. So it wouldn't take effect until the earliest on January 27th. So this was good for at least another year and a half, if not. But I can have Chelsea add that whole point within the board. And to that point, at our meeting with Councilmember Shriver, we discussed changes to the charter, what the timeline looks like for that, and we want to make sure that if we do decide, or if the council decides to move forward, it is your decision. We want to make sure that we're limiting the scope so it has the best success or best chances of success, right? So limiting the scope to only tweaking some things on the council vacancies, and then a decision on whether we want to have a 6 wards as we have it now, or having a breakup of like 4 wards and 2 at large, or 3 wards and 3 at large, just to help. So that if we have 2 really good candidates that just happen to live in Ward 6, we don't preclude somebody from being able to serve on the council that can fill an at large seat. Those are questions that we'll have to ask the community, but I think the more we delve into the charter, and if we don't keep that scope very narrow, the more things you add to it, the less chance of success you have, because people may like one thing but not the other, and if in that case they tend to vote no because they don't want their thing that they don't want changed. Does that make sense? Okay, so do I have nods on this? Thumbs up from everybody? You like it?
Looks
Yeah.
good. All right. Next would be council goal discussion.
Okay, this is something that I will admit I'm not the best at, so I'm gonna go forward with what we can. Right now, your council goals are up here on the wall. I could argue that that's a nice poster, but nobody really looks at it, or nobody really does anything to make sure that that is happening as your council goals. Okay? What I want to know from the council is, are these goals working for you? Do you want to keep these goals as I think there's 6 of them, however many there are, talking points that you want to make sure. I find it's a little bit more successful if we limit the number of goals to a smaller number of topics that we can really hone in and focus on. One of the things that I'm looking to do and that we may look at is making sure that every staff report that comes before you has a section on council goals, so that we can show how each proposal that comes before the council either does or does not meet your stated goals. Having this many goals, sometimes that gets a little bit hard because maybe it meets one but not the other. So reducing them. I'm not proposing any new goals. I'm not saying we have to change anything. What I'm asking is, some councils I've worked with have a specific retreat in January where we come together for a Saturday and we hammer it out over 4 or 5 hours. Sometimes they'll do it facilitated, sometimes it's just as a work session.
This one was facilitated.
Yeah, so so I'm just trying to figure out what you want to do, because the poster specifically says 2025. And for 2026, what do you as the council want to see?
Good work session. Awesome. Yeah. Without going over it one at a time through it and in a work session,
Okay, so that's the format that you want to do?
that's the way I think you'd have to do it, in my opinion. And now do we want it facilitated again, or do we want to go through it first? I got with us.
I think we can do it ourselves. I don't think we need the extra expense of a facilitator. We went through that. It was,
There's good and bad, though, right?
there is, but I think we can do that on our own.
So
We've got a good start.
do you want to take these and over 6 work sessions, one topic and go through it ad nauseum? Do you want to take one work session and go through the entire document and look at it?
I don't want 6 work sessions.
Yeah, that's fair.
Knock it out. That's what I'm saying.
You want to take a Saturday?
That's
I mean, this
fine.
is open to the public too, right?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. That's fine.
So you want to do a Saturday work session?
Yeah.
So we did like
productively.
if we scheduled a 9 to maybe at noon, but hopefully 10:30. We walk out 9 to noon, and it's up to you guys to get done early and maybe bring some donuts over or something.
I think
And
that's fine. Justin will provide the donuts.
if you're both so Justin to do that,
Are we waiting until January though?
that's gonna be the next question.
Yeah. Personally, would say we wait till Jan. Yeah.
Okay.
With holidays and with everything.
Is there a specific Saturday in January that you like or don't like? I can tell you that on the 3rd, I'm not likely to be in town. And just that close to the holiday, I'd say let's keep it to the 19th is your holiday weekend. So I would say either the 10th or the 24th and 31st would be your best.
It's long day for you guys.
What?
24th, long day for you guys.
What's
Yes,
your-
questions. Just for scheduling purposes and the type of meeting, I know work sessions are open to the public, but don't typically have public comment or discussion. Is that what you're looking
It's
for?
not, we don't get public input on this, it's just the county discussing. But because it is a public meeting, the public is invited to attend, but you just get to sit in.
I am only available on the 24th and 31st again.
Okay.
I have wrestling meets on the other ones, so I have to. Busy evening. I have no problem spending most of my day with you folks.
I have nothing on either one. Knock it all out in one.
Right, fine, we were fine.
24th work? Yeah, I think yeah.
Okay, let's attend what we scheduled for the 24th. And I will swear on your own heads that we will attend and that we won't forget in the week before, say, we're not doing this. I have PTSD about the last day and we agreed to do something on Saturday.
I was good.
Yeah, if stuff comes up, then let's bring it
Let us know as soon as possible.
as soon as possible.
Just double check.
If we can change some.
Other schedule.
And just know that we have to pay Chelsea to come in on that Saturday. So we don't want to make sure, we want to make sure that she's taken care of with good food and treats. So. Maybe I can convince Gary to put.
24th, yeah, it's going to the day before. I have my 31st now. 24th.
Okay, 24th, 9 AM, so let it be written, so let it be done. Mayor, do you want to bang your down on that?
I'm trying to get it in my. Or. We got it,
We'll send out a duty invite to everybody
yes, and reminder text.
and reminder texts.
Maybe like a month in advance, 2 weeks in advance. I think that's probably the best way.
Okay, that's gonna be done.
We appreciate it.
Okay,
All right. Do you have anything else on that?
no, I
Okay.
just wanted to
Yeah.
introduce the topic and see how you wanted to go about, it, because it's your goals.
Perfect.
So,
I have nothing. I've been out of town. Thank you, Brian, for running the last meeting and the record time I hear. Got it done. Finance would be the next.
we have nothing reported, Jamie's not here, so.
Okay. Planning Commission liaison.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
a punt from the last meeting.
Yeah.
That the council didn't want that assignment until we had new councilors
Yep.
seated.
Then we're still done.
Yeah, so do we have applications?
One.
Which one? Yeah, one.
Yeah,
I believe Ward 2.
does anybody want to?
The application we have is for Ward 5.
Is it for Ward 5? My apologies. Ward 2.
Does anyone want to volunteer? Would be a temporary. Planning Commission liaison person, or is
If
I could sure, so at least those two.
something?
it makes you feel better, there's not much going on with planning commission, they have not got a whole lot.
What days do you need?
They get to meet on Wednesdays, right? Thursdays.
Thursday, what? First Thursday, you know what? First, I'll just do
Was
it.
it during the day?
Am I allowed to do it?
No.
I can, right? Okay, I'll just voluntarily do it. There's.
I'll double check.
I've been going for a while. Can you remind me, please, or do you want to? So miss it, yes, that would be awesome. What time again? Okay, put them in here. First Thursday. Thank you very much. I appreciate that too, so. Okay, next would be. Urban renewal. We're looking forward to a meeting here in about a week, but it's been. 6 weeks, and we're dealing with, else over here. Almost a month ago, I'm going to be, first time we've been here in the old downtown. Otherwise, not a whole lot going on. But we do have. And an applicant for something, I'm sorry, I have memory failed, but we'll probably talk about. of the next meeting.
You guys go over the. Bylaws and stuff. Yeah, I tried to block that out. That's it.
You've also got an open RFP for sidewalks, right? You did for some sidewalk replacement.
First in section. Awesome side. No one completed my.
Okay, thank you. Summit County Housing Commission appointee, you're up.
So we met in October and, we're going to prepare open there, which I'm sure everybody's on paper, these are 12 meetings. Care open their facility, I know it's been 10 to 34 beds, so that's good. For the homeless community. Final application details, were discussed in the meeting, and so the application process for developers to apply for a gap funding like the Housing Solutions Fund, that's taking until December 31st. So if we have questions, there are no developers that need money, have to make their applications in the Parker or town. If you go on our website, I've got a link in the memo, if you know, and fill out the application and do the things that you need to do to get on presentations for the beginning of next year. Ralph and Lucy McCray, that were the owners of the old burning panel factory in Phoenix City. They was not just about their project, they've been on this for quite a few years now, and so they're at the process where they've gotten quite a few, they got the geotech report done, they removed some of the trees, they've had community engagement session, asking the community what they want. The project pretty much encompasses everything you can imagine. It's like a fantasy development. It's got housing, it's got mixed housing, it's got work-live situations. It's got community, like a park, a community garden, play area. It's a huge property that's going to be developing out of this. So, up in Bay City, Greenham, so it was really interesting to see their proposal and they coming out with. They're supposed to have the final plans done soon. There's community engagement that they have.
Is this one of the budgets that were monies?
Yeah, so they got awarded some. I think for the Brownsville community, they should be managed by this funds. Or at least we did see, just put it up. Reporting competence. So it's fine, so they know. It's all ready to go.
Thank you very much. All right, next is city manager.
All right, I will try to be quick. The biggest news we have comes from the police department. They held their annual shop with their top dinner fundraiser. At the Pacific Restaurant last weekend and raised over $9,000 for that wonderful cause. So that was bolstered. The majority of that came from a large donation from one of the actually First Security Bank came in with a large donation that basically was half of what they raised at the dinner. But I know that I was able to attend the dinner. It was great food, and if you weren't there, you missed out. It was a really good time. I attended the League of Oregon Cities Small Cities meeting on November 7th, where we had updates from around the region and a legislative update from the league. The next meeting that they're going to have is the president's meeting, which will be on February 6th up in Seaside. Those are always good. They're on Friday at 11 a.m. But you get some good FaceTime with people around the region. And usually there's a council member or mayor that attends those. So if you're interested in going, let me know. That'll be on Friday. We have a couple of upcoming agenda items that I just want to put on your radar. For December 1st, there's going to be an agenda item to discuss a potential merger of the Bay City and Tillamook fire districts. Dave McCall, city manager of Bay City, will be here to talk about what that looks like and what that means. It really doesn't affect us because we don't own a fire department or anything like that. We're just subject to it. But as the city, we do have to acknowledge that our fire service is being provided by this. And so there may be an ask for a resolution to talk about the supporting that as our recognized fire district if the merger passes. The proposed name would be Tillamook Bay Fire District. So interesting stuff if you're interested in that. More details will come. I believe that is expected. They're trying to get that on the March ballot to make that happen, get the vote of people on that. The other upcoming proposal that's in the nascent stages is an amendment to the enterprise zone. So the enterprise zone is a tax program that is offered where businesses can get tax benefits by locating within the enterprise zones. We have a couple of existing local businesses right now. The enterprise zone is made up of basically the city boundaries of all the cities in the county. It's one zone county-wide. We don't manage our own as Tillamook City. It's a county program. There's a proposal to amend the boundaries of the enterprise zone to include some property around some of these existing businesses so that these existing businesses can expand into place and not have to move. I can't talk about the businesses and who they are. One, because I don't know. Two, because we're not supposed to talk about it. But that's something that will come from the Economic Development Committee. Each city, because we vote to authorize the enterprise zone, will be asked to our opinion on the amendment, and it has to be unanimous amongst everybody in order for an amendment. So that'll come up, that we're not asking that today, that'll come up with more details as we get them. Red letter day for our public works department, they received a new 2-ton dump truck as part of our budget last year. They actually found one locally. It was a really good deal, brand new, locally meaning within the greater Portland area. They already got it out, and this will replace the old Blue Beast that I think is something like 600 years old, maybe only 25, but it was way past its prime and needed a lot of repairs. It was costing us more in upkeep than what the vehicle was worth. So I know Public Works is excited to have that. Mayor,
Are we now surplusing the old one?
I believe that is the plan, and you might be able to get it for the low price of $399. Because I'm not sure anybody that would want it.
Going for scrap.
It may be something where we pay you to take it from us. Don't quote me on that.
They've been pretty good at the back. Get dressed down.
Yeah.
Over the last week.
Exactly. So, and then there's an upcoming NIMS training. Mayor, you'll recall that we need a elected official. NIMS is for our emergency management for keeping city operations going. We have to have certifications for those, and we need to have an elected official that's certified, and the mayor gladly, reluctantly volunteered a couple of meetings ago. So just putting this on your radar that there will be on Wednesday, December 11th, don't write that date down, in Nehalem, but then on Thursday, January 8th, somewhere here in the Central County, and that'll go from 8 to noon 30. Both me and Chief Troxel will be attending that. We'll give you some more stuff and location when it comes up. But I'm announcing it for everybody because if there's anybody else that wants to attend that and get trained so we can have continuity of operations in the city in case the proverbial hits the fan, we want to have that available. And then lastly, we're not going to get into specifics, but we think we're close on our CPA police department. Of course, the answer to all your questions is money, and that I think we've agreed on about 85% of the document, and we're just crossing T's and dotting. So
How many meetings you guys had during negotiations?
more than I care to mention.
I've negotiated with the towns,
That's my report.
Perfect. Well, I see you here. Do you have anything you want to add with your reporting here?
Everything's going good. I was happy with starting meeting with North, which was one of the big highlights around the meetings in January. We got at this water treatment plant. Well, I already had one, this one just upgraded that one because that one we have, and also that one you can spec right or size right, and the plant is built. So this one, editing during power outage now.
There's also a well free, like 95% of everything's not along Ryan Street, so. Huge one there on the water side of things, wastewater is running all along the streets, we're gonna start, sweepers down there, we're gonna get back in operation tomorrow. We're sweeping in, and so I think some of those massive problems right now. All in all, operations are going really good, super happy.
We put that generator together, that's what we said, we're less than on the power outage we had.
We did about water gonna get all and everything, and again, on that front, that was like our first power outage storm of the season, so. That following day, we all sat down and had a little storm debrief and came up with a real quick, and what we could do better on this. A lot of them were good, we just had a couple of survey stations, we had the right run generation this week, and thankfully, power came back on, over hour triggering, so. All was good, managed pretty well, so. Things are pretty good, I appreciate you asking, okay?
Thank you.
We may have any other questions or not?
All right, thank you. All right, next we'll put the minutes, I think it'd be easier. The minutes for November 3rd, regular session. Everybody go over those. Any questions or? Move we approve the minutes of the month of November 3rd, 2025, the council meeting. Second. All right. Moved and seconded, is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Yeah, motion passes. So we'll move to council comment.
I'm good.
Just as they talked about the sweeper being down and all the rain coming down. Means we got lots of leaves on the streets and then the sidewalks and stuff. If you do just calling upon the citizens of Sunderland, help us out a little bit, get out and get those leaves out of the drain areas so that we can get the drains going well. It's also easier on our system, so if you could help out a little bit and just clean your storm drains. Leaves in the trash or something for us and clean it up. That would help us tremendously.
Let's see. Maybe we have one more meeting before the Christmas tree lighting, and then December 6th.
Yes, sir.
With that, I move the authorized paying bills.
Okay, moved and seconded to pay the bills, can you please poll counts?
Yes, Counselor Schreiber,
Aye.
Counselor Reynolds,
Aye.
Counselor Sandusky, Counselor Knopfler.
This is to pay the bills, and with that, we will adjourn. Thank you, everybody.
Dustin, do you guys have a clean yet? What's that? You have a clean yet?
Yes, it's Scotland.